Now at the start of 2024, Mercedes-Benz brought out the new CLE Coupe. However, the AMG version was nowhere to be seen. But now today, it's here, and boy, does it look good. Now guys, what we're going to do is go through the exterior first of this new model, and as you can see, it is kind of raining right now. Quite common for car reviews. It always rains when I review a car, but we'll be fairly quick, so we'll go through the exterior as quickly as we can, then kind of check out the rear of the car, which actually has real exhausts, and of course go through the inside elements, and then most importantly, we're going to do a sound test with the startup and take it for a drive. So loads of cool things coming. So when it comes to AMG, what is different on, say, like this model, for example? Well, of course, as with most AMGs, they do have a unique AMG specific grille. Now, it used to be called AMG Pan America grille or something along those lines, but now it's often referred to as just AMG specific grille. But as with all AMGs, as you look around the car, you'll notice there's even some cutouts on top of the bonnet here, along with these nice power domes, just giving it that kind of extra kind of flair, showing off it is an actual AMG, and even the wider wheel arches as well, just adding to that AMG kind of sportiness. So from a distance, you can clearly see that this one is a fast car. And then even on the side of the car as well, you'll even notice next to the Turbo 4MATIC Plus badge, there's also these extra elements here and just kind of wider skirts along the bottom here. Now, this particular car has what Mercedes refer to as a night package. I do love this color combo right now in this kind of matte grey paintwork, and of course, all the black surrounding the windows and of course on the mirrors. And to finish it off, black wheels as well. So looks really, really, really smart. And we haven't even looked at the back yet, because the back has these quad exhausts. Now, one improvement to the rear of the car is actually how the boot opens. If you currently drive a C-Class Coupe, you'll know that you can't open the boot anywhere on the back, because the badge itself is a little bit smaller, and that's actually where the camera goes. But obviously, since that car was made, Mercedes-Benz have actually improved it slightly, so you can now press the badge in to open it. And it'll open just like that with all my bags in there at the moment. And you can get a surprisingly large amount of stuff in said boot, even though the car kind of slopes down at the back due to the coupe kind of style bodywork. But anyway, I did mention those exhausts. We'll cover the boot in a second. So yes, real exhausts here, real quad exhausts, and they do sound good as well apparently. So as I said, we'll do that sound test in a minute. Now, just before we get on to the boot, the dimensions of the CLE AMG: length 4,853mm, width 2,041mm, and height 1,435mm. So, with all that in mind, what about the price? Now, when it comes to price, the on-the-road price for the CLE 53 is £73,075. So yes, coming back to the boot, it is 420 litres, as you see right here, right now. And you can also fold the seats down as well, even in a coupe, which is pretty cool. So you can do a 40-20-40 split, just in case you need to put anything large in there or anything. So yeah, even though it has that kind of slopey roof, the boot does go quite far back in there. Now, of course, the boot is electric as well. You can close it just with one touch, just like that. Anyway, let's take a look at those rear seats. Now, before we go through the front design, the multimedia system, and of course take it for a drive and do that sound test, I just want to check out the rear seats. Now, this is actually set up for my driving position, and yeah, there is just about enough legroom in here. Hey, at least you can carry 4 fully sized adults, which brings me neatly on to, yes, it is only a 4-seater. But yeah, there's also 2 USB-C ports under there, I noticed as well. So yeah, just in case anyone in the back needs to charge their phone, and ISOFIX on both seats, so good round practicality. Right, let's check out the front. So first things first, guys, one thing you'll notice straight away when you jump in, certainly an AMG, is that there's a lot of AMG details everywhere, like the kind of Alcantara steering wheel just here, red stitching, AMG written there, even AMG on the seats as well. And these seats are really, really supportive, but they're also super comfy at the same time. Carbon fibre up here as well. So there's all these different elements and things. Oh, and of course, can't forget the most important thing, these kind of twin dials here that allow you to do all sorts of different things, change the drive mode and all sorts. Now, you don't get those on any normal kind of Mercedes. Like I have this exact same steering wheel minus the kind of soft material here, but yeah, I wish I had these AMG dials because that would be pretty cool. Although that wouldn't really work on an A180. It's more suited to this car, I think. So quick tour of the front. So in here, there's 2 USB-C ports, pretty handy. And I also noted there's an extra 2 in here. So that's 6 USB-C ports. Very, very useful, I guess. Cup holders there, wireless charging in there, so all pretty good. I will add that this is all high gloss black, so obviously just something to bear in mind. You don't want to put anything hard on this, otherwise it will scratch. Then we have the screen, which I'll come on to in a second, with a variety of different buttons along here. Start-stop button just over here, and in this particular car, there is a head-up display as well. So yeah, pretty cool. Certainly when you need to be keeping your eyes on the road ahead for how fast it is, you can see all your speed and everything up there. Pretty neat. And then of course storage in the doors here, which again is plenty adequate. Windows, this one's got of course electric seats and heated seats and ventilated seats. Very nice. And of course the glove box. So over here, yep, all good. Very large glove box, 2 tiers there actually, and there's also the Mercedes-Benz perfume. Oh, you don't know what this is? You've not seen this before? Some Mercedes-Benz have this where you can, I don't actually know how much these are, but I can imagine they're a little bit more expensive than an air freshener that dangles from a mirror, but basically that goes in there and then it pumps out your preferred scent or different fragrances you can buy through the vents. Pretty neat, and only the Mercedes-Benz way. But yes, I don't know how much those vials are. I'm sure they are quite expensive. And that brings us neatly onto the multimedia system. So one thing to note, let me just put the ignition on so we have power to everything. Climate control is all along the bottom, so pretty much standard like most Mercedes-Benz at the moment. All controlled here up and down like this, fan speed, temperature either side. Even if the screen is switched off, that still stays there. So good it stays in the same place. It is technically a 1 touch away, but it is touch. So obviously just something to factor in. Conveniently, there's a back home button, previous and next track button literally within reach, so pretty good, and 1 touch will turn it all back on. A lot of new cars do have this kind of speed limit warning thing, so if you haven't heard of this, when you take a car out and test drive like a new car, the chances are it probably has this new speed warning thing where it can beep at you when the speed limit is reached and you go over it. Now, I'm not saying that anyone's speeding, but sometimes it might not get it completely right on every car out there. Sun could be shining in the lens, for example, and might not see the speed signs, so it might beep at you. And if you want to turn it off, I'm pretty sure and safe to say that Mercedes is probably the easiest way to turn it off, because you can't turn it off permanently. You have to turn it off per driving session. Some other car manufacturers I reviewed, you have to go like 3 or 4 steps into a menu to turn it off. In Mercedes, it's just 1. There. That's how you turn it off per session. Now, there's various different views and things you can do on here. Now, if you're not a fan of using the Mercedes-Benz multimedia system, you can, of course, use Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, both of which are wireless, so obviously that's pretty good. But yes, if you do, nice and easy to use. Of course, the sat-nav is literally here. Just type in where to, choose where you want to go. So yeah, all around, the multimedia system is very, very easy to use. And you might be wondering what all these buttons are down here. Well, the AMG button allows you to choose your mode, and that allows you to control it over here as well, or you can touch it on the screen. Now there's slippery, individual, comfort, and then there's also Sport and Sport Plus as well. Now if you go for that Pro Performance package that I mentioned earlier, you'll also get an additional one called Race, where you can actually enable drift mode. So yes, you could drift one of these. Not that you should do it on a public road, but just saying you can. Button after this is a camera, so this will be the reversing camera, although like this car, if you have a 360-degree camera, then you can see literally all the way around the car. This bit over here will be black at the moment because that's where my camera is, but to give you an idea, yeah, complete overview of the entire car, so pretty cool. You can even zoom in and out as well, and even view your wheels, see how close you are to the curb and that sort of thing. Then we have car settings here, hazards. This one is a fingerprint reader, so if you have multiple owners, multiple drivers, you can have up to 6 or 7 different profiles, all done through the Mercedes Me app, and sign in with your own settings. So again, pretty neat. So yeah, all of that's really, really cool. I think now is the time to do a start and see if it sounds like a true AMG And then of course, got to take it out on the road as well and try out these different modes. Sadly, obviously, I can't try out race because I don't think there's a car here with the that Pro Performance thing, but I'm sure it's going to sound good anyway. It's got AMG written on it after all. Alright guys, so it started raining again, just ever so slightly, but we're doing the drive now, so apart from the start I'm about to do in a second, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, let's see what this one sounds like. That was a very quiet start. I don't know, I was expecting it to be louder. Let me just do it again. That reminds me of the E-Class AMGs. Very, very kind of silent but deadly. So we'll see what this is like out on the open road anyway. Should we do a sound off? Let's put it in Sport Plus. Starting to sound a little bit noisier. An artificial sound out of the speakers. It sounds like it. I mean, it sounds good, but yeah, we'll have to see what it's like out on the open road. Let's go into drive and away we go. Let's make sure these wipers are on because it is now actually raining and we've got this in comfort mode at the moment. So, oh, sat nav saying to go straight on. We've got a special route to do. Apparently it's very fun. Right. So, yeah, definitely very smooth. Even though this is an AMG, AMGs typically do have firm suspension. I will say that this is firmer than like a normal CLE, which you do want because you want to be able to put that power down. But that engine does sound like it can really pull. I'm sure we'll be able to try it out in a minute. So let's talk about that engine for a second. So of course, this being a CLE 53, it is a 3 litre, 449 horsepower, so pretty quick. However, Mercedes have also got some clever kind of trickery up their sleeves where they have mild hybrid tech. Now this is probably one of the reasons why this car starts so silently. I'm hoping that it can redeem itself as an AMG and make a bit more noise when you put your foot down in like Sport Plus, because it's what AMGs are about. So yes, if you've never heard of it before, this mild hybrid tech is basically designed to help reduce emissions and all that kind of boring stuff, but trust me, it does help. It helps turn the engine off to save fuel and can also give you an acceleration boost as well, so it can add a few extra horsepower, 22 to be precise. But don't let the word hybrid put you off. This is not to be confused with a plug-in hybrid. A mild hybrid in its most simplistic form just does stuff. You know, engine start-stop technology, it just kind of operates in the background and just does things to help save fuel and make you go faster. So all round, what more could you want? Now Mercedes do have their own models where plug-in hybrids of course help change some of your driving to all-electric driving, but then some AMG models can make you go faster. That's not present in this car. This is just a little bit of a boost. It actually used to be called EQ Boost, but Mercedes now just go with the term mild hybrid. Alright, well let's we'll try Sport Plus in a minute, but let's try Sport mode. That sounds like an AMG. And that's not even Sport Plus. Or if you go for the other package, the race mode. I don't think there'll be a difference in sound between Sport Plus and race though, just to add. It's normally Sport Plus is the noisiest and race just does a few extra things to allow you like to do drift mode and that sort of thing. You can tell I don't do a lot of track stuff, so I'm probably not the best person to ask for that. I think now's the time to try a Sport Plus. So Sport Plus, let's come to a complete stop. 3, 2, 1, go. Ooh! That came out of nowhere. Okay, right, it redeemed itself. That was way louder. Okay. Silent but deadly. I thought it might have been that. I was not expecting that. I knew it was going to be quick, but I wasn't expecting that noise. Yeah, Sport Plus makes a huge difference. I think now's my chance again to do this on this remotely straight road. That truck's gone. Let's do it again. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah. It's a pretty quick car. And it handles well as well. Go around these corners, sticks to the road like glue. That's obviously Mercedes-Benz's 4MATIC system, which is their four-wheel drive, and this is a fun car. It's really cool because you can drive this car around and you wouldn't, not many people would know unless they look at the grille on the front, but if you jump in, you wouldn't actually know it's a pretty quick car. But yes, there we go guys, I think we will end it there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below, and of course if you enjoyed what you saw, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and finally a huge shout out to Mercedes-Benz for organising this event, especially to drive this car, because it's been really, really interesting. But guys, thank you so much as always. Until next time, see you then. I'm going to enjoy driving this car just a little bit longer. I'm going to take the long way back. See you soon guys.